In Bergen County, $1 million has become normal. The shock is how fast that became true. Start with the scale of what's moving. In November of 2025, the typical U.S. home value sat at $360,782, a mere 0.2% higher than a year earlier. A whisper of growth nationally. New Jersey tells a different story. Through the first 11 months of 2017, the median home price in the state climbed to $585,000, up 6.4%. Median means the middle of the market, half of sales below, half above, so that $585,000 is the center of the conversation. Inside that number, the map lights up unevenly. In the first 10 months of 2025, Bergen County posted a median of $840,000, up 9.8%. Somerset followed at $775,000, up 3.2%. Essex registered $765,000, up 5.5%. Morris marked $737,500, up 2.9%. Monmouth printed $720,000, up 5.6%. In the center of the state, Middlesex stood at $585,000, up 3.5%, while neighboring Union reached $669,000, up 7%. Farther south, Ocean and Passaic each recorded $600,000, up 6.2% and 7.1% respectively. On the lower end of the state, Mercer came in at $495,000, up 7.6%. Sussex at $455,000, up 6.4%, and Warren at $430,000, up 6.2%. Burlington measured $425,000, up 4.9%. Atlantic and Cape May matched at $415,000, both jumping 9.5%. Camden reached $385,000, up 6.9%. Gloucester hit $375,000, up 4.2%. Salem closed at $281,938, up 8.4%, and Cumberland rounded the list at $275,000, up 6.6%. These aren't just headline numbers. In November, across New Jersey, single-family homes didn't just meet asking. On average, they surpassed it. The sale-to-list ratio statewide reached 102.5%. Union County led with 105.1%. Somerset posted 101.3%. That gap is real money. On a $600,000 list price in Ocean County, 102.5% implies an accepted offer around $615,000. On a $669,000 median in Union, 105.1% pushes a typical deal above $703,000. And the market moved with urgency. In Hunterdon, typical days on market in November clocked in at 27. Union's homes lasted about 30 days. Somerset took 37. Middlesex stretched to 44. Pull the camera tighter. Vindentory tells a story of scarcity and choice at the same time. In November, active homes for sale counted 924 in Middlesex, 430 to 7 in Union, 303 in Somerset, and 224 in Hunterdon. New listings show momentum in certain corridors. Middlesex saw 389 new listings in November and 5,993 year-to-date by that month, an 18.5% increase. Union's 235 new listings for the month brought the year's tally to 3,970, 9 up 5%. Somerset added 117 in November for a year-to-date of 2,583, up 3.1%. Hunterdon brought 76 new listings in November, reaching 1,366 for the year, down 5.1%. Now layer on the ground truth of price ladders from town to town. Look at Deal on the Monmouth County shore. Its typical home value hit $4,154,717 in the 12 months ending November 2025. In 1 year, that number jumped by $251,216, a 6.4% rise. Over 5 years, the climb was $1,978,017, up $9.97. North in Alpine, that typical value reached $2,953,357, rising by $245,000 $350 in a year, a 9.1% move, and by $998,643 over 5 years, up 51.1%. Lock Arbor registered $2,860, $3,550, $4, adding $230, $9,340, $2 in 1 year, 9.1% higher, and $1,420, $7,828 over 5 years, plus 99.4%. Saddle River recorded $2,170,702, up $188, $125 year over year, a 9.5% jump, and $693,439 over 5 years, plus 46.9%. Short Hills in Essex County shows how the high end has become the center in certain zip codes. There, typical home value reached $214,748, rising by $112,269 in 1 year, up 5.3%, and by $842,356 in 5 years, up 61.4%. Along the coast, Bayhead measured $2,305,967, up $114,154, a 5.2% annual rise, and $1,888,027, a 62.6% 5-year increase. Girt posted $2,242,862, a $134,585 gain in a year, 6.4%, and a staggering $1,427 over 5 years, up 80.7%. Mantaloking registered $1,953,316, up $129,151 year over year, a 7.1% increase, and $819,164 over 5 years, up 72.2%. Step into Bergen County's everyday luxury. Franklin Lakes set a typical value of $1,492,640 with a 1-year increase of $126,239, or 9.2%, and a 5-year increase of $551,886.57 higher. Demarest reached $1,355,641, up $117,591 in 1 year, 9.5%, and $477,740 over 5 years, plus 54.4%. Inglewood Cliffs climbed to $1,650,209, with a $103,521 annual gain, 6.7%, and a $465,837 5-year gain, 39.3%. Ridgewood registered $1,133,917, up $67,466 year over year, 6.3%, and $373,369 over 5 years, 49.1%. In Essex County's Inner Ring, Montclair reached $1,078,256, up $57,768 in 1 year, 5.7%, and $386,542 in 5 years, 55.9%. South Orange hit $1,255,976, rising $70, $180 in a year, 8.4%, and $367,317 over 5 years, plus 55.8%. Maplewood landed at $896,993, showing a $61,738 1-year gain, 7.4%, and $305,635 over 5 years, 51.7%. The message is consistent. In prime commuter towns, price momentum held through 2025. Zoom out to a statewide fabric that's tight in multiple directions. Over the first 10 months of 2025, the average sales price for single-family homes across New Jersey reached $739,927, up 8.4%. That average stretches beyond the median, pulled higher by outliers like Deal, near $4.15 in Alpine, near $283.5 million, but grounded by counties like Cumberland at a $275,000 median, and Salem at $281,938. The distribution is wide, but the sign is positive. What happened to get us here? Two fault lines cross under the market. One is demand returning to the urban job core. The other is the shortage of homes for sale at almost every price tier. Signals from the Northeast suggest the return to office is reshaping where people plant roots and where investors place bets. In 2026, Northern New Jersey entered the top tier of markets to watch, ranking 7th. Jersey City leapt 17 spots into second place, riding proximity to Manhattan and renewed foot traffic. In the first half of 2025, Jersey City saw $177.40 million of investment, with 65% flowing to apartments. That's capital stacking into density, into elevators, into front desks and skyline views along the Hudson. The second fault line is a national one. Inventory has been replenishing. For the 25th consecutive month nationally, the count of homes for sale ticked higher, crossing 1 million. At least 10% of those carry a list price of $1,000 or more. In the New York City metro, the highest count of million-dollar listings sits within reach of New Jersey commuters. In Bergen County, million-dollar listings are described as the new norm. In many neighborhoods, a price tag that once screamed luxury is now the entry ticket to the best schools, the fastest commute, the walkable downtown. But even with more homes for sale nationally, New Jersey's most competitive counties behave like they're short on air. In November, statewide homes sold for 102.5% of their list price. In Union County, bidding pushed that figure to 105.1%, more than 5 cents on the dollar above prevailing asks. On a $669,000 median there, that's roughly $30,000 to $4,000 above list as a norm, not an exception. The days on market numbers reinforce the tempo: 27 in Hunterdon, 30 in Union, 37 in Somerset, 44 in Middlesex. If you're shopping under $700,000 in any of those places, each weekend counts. The shape of the climb is different in each micro market. Seabright's typical value reached $994,966, up $48,171 in a year, 5.1%, and $393,770 over 5 years, up 65.5%. Spring Lake posted $1,343,090, with a $135.5 annual gain, 8.4%, and a $544,988 move over 5 years, 68.3% higher. Short-run accelerations in these coastal enclaves pair with marathon 5-year sprints. In Morris County, Mountain Lake settled at $10159,637, up $49,921 in a year, 4.5%, and $351,487 over 5 years, 43.5%. In Union County, Westfield touched $1,200,975, gaining $40,751 in a year, 4.3%, and $310 over 5 years, 46.3%. The commuter arch from Hudson through Essex to Bergen reads like a ledger of steady appreciation. Haworth recorded $1,110,961 and $82,057 annual gain, 8%, and a $397,861 5-year gain, 55.8%. Hohoku's climbed to $1,208,234, up $70,525 in a year, 6.2%, and $406,374 in 5 years, 50.7%. Glen Rock reached $988,371, adding $56,242 in a year, 6%, and $309,459 in 5 years, 45.6%. Livingston hit $1,296 with a $51,333 yearly gain, 5.2%, and a $321,667 rise across 5 years, 45.4%. At the top of the market, the numbers are theatrical. Allenhurst posted $2,192,848, up $143,309 in 1 year, 7%, and up $1,127,653 over 5 years, a 105.9% climb. Lock Arbor's near 100% 5-year jump underscores a reality. In certain oceanfront blocks, a decade's worth of growth condensed into half that time. Even in places where 1-year gains were modest, 5-year gains were often towering. Harvey Cedars reached 2069-1960, 971, up $63,503 year over year, 3.2%, but $850, $2,142 higher over 5 years, 70%. Barnegat Light hit $1,542,683, up $51,953, 3.5% annually, with $616,937 added over 5 years, 66.6%. The mid-market fought for breathing room, and fought successfully. Madison recorded $980,894, up $48,178, 5.2% on the year, and $282,424, up 40.4% over 5 years. Summit marked $1,283,914, rising $82,909 in a year, 7.1%, and $390,419 in 5 years, 43.7%. Chatham reached $1,254,342 with a $76,314 annual bump, 6.5%, and $373,982 over 5 years, 42.5%. In Central Jersey's hinge counties, the market's pulse is visible transaction by transaction. Middlesex's active inventory of 924 homes in November framed the choice set for a $585,000 median buyer, while its 44 days on market nudged the pace toward deliberation rather than panic. Somerset's $775,000 median, second highest among 21 counties for that period, was shopped across 303 active listings in November, with homes lasting roughly 37 days. In Union, the $669,000 median moved across 437 actives with a 30-day clock and an average accepted contract, surpassing list by 5.1%. Hunterdon's smaller pool, 224 active, met a median of $675,500 that had risen 2.3% over 10 months, and its 27 days on market tightened the window. Demand at the top of the market shifted too. Across most luxury tiers nationally, million-dollar and multi-million-dollar homes sold faster than a year earlier, with the 90th percentile moving 3 days faster year over year as of October 2025. That narrowed the gap between luxury and typical listings. In the New York City metro, which includes northern New Jersey, the sheer volume of million-dollar listings led the nation. In Bergen County, the expectation of 7 figures became standard in many sought-after towns. In practical terms, that means a buyer targeting $1,000 in Ridgewood, Gloucester, or Wyckoff isn't buying a trophy. They're buying proximity, schools, and community features that anchor long-term value more than finishes do. In Bergen's ring of towns, the comparative grid is instructive. Wyckoff reached a $173,172, up $62.78 in a year, 6.6%, and $325,676 in 5 years, 43.6%. Gloucester landed at $1,998,915, adding $65,096 annually, 6.3%, and $368,000 over 5 years, 50.4%. Upper Saddle River hit $1,335,000, $733, up $57,834 in a year, 4.5%, and $398,000, $8 across 5 years, 42.4%. Woodcliff Lake posted $1,174,013, rising $61,648, 5.5% annually, and $386,050, 49% over 5 years. Essex Fells rose to $1,387,288, gaining $82,090, 6.3% on the year, and $502,959, 56.9% over 5 years. Coastal New Jersey's extremes told a parallel story. Bayhead at $2K, $350, $967, and Girt at $2K, $240, $2K, $862 both saw six-figure annual increases, while Rumson reached $2K, $111,057, adding $73,661 year over year, 3.6%, and $820,569 over 5 years, up 63.6%. Interlaken touched $1,500 and $1,022, rising $73,369, 5.1% in a year, and $599,254 over 5 years, up 66.5%. Brielle marked $1,196,736, up $73,759, 6.6% annually, and $491,637 over 5 years, 70 minus a sliver. Even Avon by the Sea at $1,726,007 showed a $48,814 annual gain, 2.9%, and a $569,968 5-year jump, plus 49.3%. Step back to the national stage for a moment to understand the investor lens shaping parts of New Jersey. Multifamily properties finished the third quarter with 5.48% annual returns, outpacing a broad all-property index at 4.65%. Some West Coast metros topped 7%, while only Miami and Houston cracked the national top 10 among Sunbelt markets. Oversupplied metros, Austin, Raleigh, Phoenix, logged some of the lowest returns. Regulatory-heavy places like New York and Portland underperformed major peers. For New Jersey, that mix translates into selective buoyancy. The apartment share of investment in Jersey City, 65%, lines up with a national appetite for multifamily income and the specific demand of commutable neighborhoods. But performance differentials across regions also caution against assuming every coastal gate will outperform just because office towers fill back in. The nuance matters. Move back through the counties. Hudson posted a $630,000 median across 10 months, up 7.7%. Union at $669,000 rose 7%. Essex at $765,000 grew 5.5%. Morris at $737,500 ticked up 2.9%. Monmouth at $720,000 advanced 5.6%. Ocean's $600,000 increased 6.2%. Passaic also at $600,000 climbed 7.1%. Middlesex at $585,000 up 3.5% implies that central buyers still have options below $600K, though the November 44-day listing pace suggests patience is required. Gloucester's $375,000, Camden's $385,000, and Burlington's $425,000 medians collectively underscore a southward affordability gradient, while Atlantic and Cape May's 9.5% increases, both to $415,000, highlight how lifestyle coasts can run hot even from a lower base when inventory is thin. On the micro scale, the jockeying is fierce. Maplewood's $896-$993 typical value and 7.4% annual gain signal continued spillover from pricier neighbors, while South Orange's $896-$9976 confirms a wider belt of pressure around Midtown-bound train lines. Livingston's 5.2% increase to $1,299,960 and Summit's 7.1% move to $1,283,914 deepened the pattern. Amenities, commute, and school rankings compress cap rates in owner-occupant terms. Buyers accept higher monthly costs per dollar of home when those factors line up. The 5-year arcs read like confidence in place. See Girt up $1,000 and $1,427 over 5 years. Mantaloking up $819,164. Spring Lake up $544 Gigalab, $988. Franklin Lakes up $551,886. Demarest up $477,740. Inglewood Cliffs up $465,837. Ridgewood up $373,369. Montclair up $386,542. Chatham up $373,982. Essex Fells up $502,959. The consistent range of 40 to 80+% 5-year appreciation across dozens of towns is not just a chart. It's the lived experience of owners who bought in 2020 and saw 6 digits of equity accrue by 2025, even as mortgage rates rose and took some oxygen out of later stages of the rally. That rise in borrowing costs did slow growth in some places. Pace moderated, and in pockets, prices even declined. Yet the headline in New Jersey didn't flip. Statewide median at $585,000, up 6.4%. Average sales price at $739,000, $927, up 8.4%. In November, the average accepted price still above list. Days on market measured in weeks, not months. Listings climbed in Middlesex by 18.5% year-to-date, rose 5% in Union and 3.1% in Somerset, while Hunterdon's 5.1% drop tightened the filter even further. Supply breathed, but demand inhaled faster. Take Jersey City's rank shift as a barometer of what returns to a hybrid office culture can do. Rising 17 places to number 2 among markets to watch in, 26 maps onto the $177.40 million invested in the first half of 2025, almost 2/3 of it in apartments. That suggests a view that renters will pay to be near trains and ferries again, that restaurants and retail will find footfall, that skyline adjacency will finally translate back into sustained lease-up. It also suggests that condo pipelines and mixed-use projects will weigh the price elasticity of buyers who now see $1 million as a baseline for certain floor plans with certain views. The high end isn't the only story. Union City, at a typical value of $558,746, posted a $47,039 one-year gain, 9.2%. North Haledon hit $687,299, up $44,945, 7%. Haddonfield measured $791,450, up $52,831, 7.2%. Roseland reached $794,792, up $61,958, 8.5%. These are not $2 million enclaves, but their year-over-year jumps show how pressure propagates outward, how proximity to jobs and transit welds value even when buyers choose a lower price tier. Along the shore, price movements reveal distinct stories about second home demand and primary residence migration. Allenhurst's 105.9% 5-year rise to $2,192,848 signals the transformation of a micro-market that doubled. Deal's 90.5-year rise to $4,154,717 shows the compounding effect of scarcity along a handful of blocks. Barnegat Light's 66% 5-year increase to $1,542,683 and Harvey Cedar's 70% 5-year rise to $26,971 indicates sustained demand for Barrier Island life even after the early pandemic waves receded. In the suburbs, threading into Newark and New York, Capital has a blueprint. Strong school districts anchor values. Commute optionality underpins premiums. Walkability stacks a further layer. Westfield at $1,000, $200,000, $975, up $49,751 in a year. Glen Rock at $988,3701, up $56,242. Ridgewood at $1,000, $133,917, up $67,466. Milburn at $1,196,531, up $61,317, 5.4%. Upper Saddle River at $1,335,733, up $57,834. Florham Park at $975 and 980 cents, up $50 and $968, 6.5%. Add in Maplewood's $896,993 and Montclair's $1,078, $256, and the cluster around the 1 million mark stops looking like a cluster. It looks like an axis. At the lower end of the state's price range, the trend is still up. Gloucester's $375,000 median, up 4.2%, pairs with Camden's $385,000, up 6.9%. Cumberland's $275,000, up 6.6%, reflects affordability that remains intact even as statewide medians climb. Salem's $281,10, $938, up 8.4%, shows the push-pull of value and scarcity at the southern fringe. Those percentages matter for buyers seeking to trade space for price. They also matter for lenders and builders calculating feasibility on new product, and for municipalities estimating tax bases into 2026. The national luxury context holds another clue. Across the country, the presence of million-dollar and multi-million-dollar listings signals robust demand at the upper tiers. In the New York metro, the highest concentration of those listings frames a New Jersey market, where a $1 million budget is often the starting line, not the finish. Even as inventory rose for the 25th consecutive month nationally, the reality in Bergen, Essex, Union, and Morris is that good properties are contested, and the key metrics, 102.5% statewide sale to list, 30 to 44 days on market, translate into decisions measured in days, not weeks. What comes next? The base case into mid-2026 is steady firmness in prices across northern and central New Jersey, with the most competitive submarkets holding premiums above list and days on market anchored in the 30 to 40 range. Counties with medians already above $700,000, Bergen at $840,000, and Somerset at $775,000, are positioned to continue drawing demand from households valuing commute access and schools. The statewide median, at $585,000, has room to hold or edge higher as long as new listings growth remains modest and as long as return to office keeps the northern job centers relevant. The $739,927 average sales price will remain elevated by high-end transactions in towns like Deal, Alpine, Short Hills, and Girt, even if year-over-year gains moderate. Two watch items should sit on your dashboard. First, track the listing momentum in the center of the state. Middlesex's 18.5% year-to-date increase in new listings as of November, Union's 5%, and Somerset's 3.1% show early signs of supply response. If that growth continues through June of 2026, say another 6 months of elevated monthly ads, days on market could lengthen in those counties, and the 102.5% statewide sale-to-list ratio could compress toward 100% in the mid-tier price bands. If it stalls, expect the November pattern to repeat: quick absorption and offers over ask. Second, watch the return-to-office arc and the capital that follows it into Jersey City and northern New Jersey. The 17-place leap into the number 2 slot among markets to watch into 2026, combined with $177.40 million invested in the first half of 2025, and 65% of that in apartments, lays a foundation for more multifamily deliveries and potentially tighter rental markets. If that apartment share stays near 2/3 through December of 26, it will support pricing power for both new lease-ups and for sale condos in view-rich corridors along the Hudson. If return-to-office stalls or reverberations from nearby regulatory-heavy markets dampen returns, as seen when New York underperformed major peers, the investment pace could ease, and the absorption assumptions underwrite tighter. The texture of New Jersey's market right now is complex but legible. Nationally, 1 million homes for sale and at least 10% wearing $1 million price tags signal a new normal at the upper echelons. Locally, counties like Bergen at an $840,000 median and towns like Franklin Lakes at $1,492,640 draw a straight line from that national trend to New Jersey's streets. Union's 105 1% sale to list in November, Somerset's 101.3, and the statewide 102.5 protect seller confidence and test buyer stamina. Middlesex's 924 actives set a wide but not bottomless stage. Hunter Don's 27 days on market shortened the play. From Alpine's $2,000, $953,000, to Madison's $980,000, $894, from Spring Lake's $1,000, $343,000, $90 to Gloucester's $375,000, the state's spectrum is wide, but the direction shares the same arrow. Up in medians, up in averages. Over ask in November. Faster at the top than last year. This is what a reweighted market looks like when scarcity meets a revived commute at a culture that now reads $1,000 as normal in a growing swath of towns. If you're buying, create a plan that respects the numbers. In Union, 105.1% over list is a baseline, not a shock. In Somerset, 37 days passes fast. In Middlesex, 44 is not forever. It's the breathing room you asked for. If you're selling, the comps are likely stronger than 12 months ago, but buyers are rational. Bring a listing that matches the market's demand. And remember that statewide, 102.5% over ask was the November reality. If you're investing, watch the arc of apartments in Jersey City and the relative value in northern New Jersey as it ranks among the top 7 markets to watch going into 26. The story right now is simple to say and hard to live. In parts of New Jersey, $1 million is the new normal. The detail behind that line is all numbers. $585,000 statewide median, $840,000 in Bergen, $775,000 in Somerset, $630,000 in Somerset, $630,000 in Hudson, $585,000 in Middlesex, $154,717 in Deal, $2,953,357 in Alpine, $1,280, $3,914 in Summit, $1,299,960 in Livingston, $988,000, $371 in Glen Rock, $1,333,733 near the Saddle River, $1,174,013 at Woodcliff Lake, $7,072 in Wyckoff. The math wired into the last 5 years, $1,000 and $1,427 up in Girt, $819,164 in Mantoloking, $544,988 in Spring Lake, $551,886 in Franklin Lakes. $386,542 in Montclair Tag tells you why so many residents feel wealthier on paper and why so many newcomers meet sticker shock at the curb. Even with rising mortgage rates cooling the edges of the market and causing declines in select pockets, New Jersey's core has remained stubbornly strong. The likely path from here is a glide rather than a spike, a series of steady quarters rather than sudden cliffs. Expect northern New Jersey and the coastal enclaves to keep commanding premiums into the first half of 2026. Expect central corridors like Middlesex and Somerset to balance rising inventory against durable demand. Expect the $739,927 average to be supported by a healthy flow of 7-figure closings in towns where schools, trains, and downtowns align. And expect the $1 million conversation in Bergen County to continue sounding routine. Keep your eye on the listing counts in Middlesex, Union, and Somerset through June of 2026. Watch the apartment share of capital in Jersey City and northern New Jersey across the year. If those metrics hold, the state's housing market will keep its footing. If they crack, the tempo will change. Wherever you sit, buyer, seller, investor, treat the numbers as your compass and plan your next move with intention.